Caracalla, born Lucius Septimius Bassianus on April 4, 188 AD in Lugdunum, modern-day Lyon, France, was a Roman emperor known for his militaristic rule, brutal policies, and infamous legacy. He was the elder son of Septimius Severus, a North African Roman general who became emperor in 193 AD, and Julia Domna, a Syrian noblewoman of the powerful Emazene dynasty. His name Caracalla derived from a Gallic cloak he frequently wore, a nickname that stuck through the ages, though it was not his official name. Raised during a time of military expansion and internal strife within the empire, Caracalla was thrust into political and imperial life from a young age. In 195 AD, his father bestowed upon him the name Marcus Aurelius Antoninus, aligning him with the Antonine dynasty to solidify legitimacy. This name was used officially during his reign. Rise to power and CO rule. In 198 AD, at the age of 10, Caracalla was elevated to the position of CO emperor, Caesar, by his father. His younger brother, Publius Septimius Geta, would also later receive a similar honor, setting the stage for a CO rulership that would later spiral into a deadly rivalry. After the death of Septimius Severus in 211 AD during a campaign in Britain, Caracalla and Geta were declared joint emperors. However, the two brothers detested one another, and their CO rule was fraught with hostility. According to ancient sources, they could not stand to be in the same room without bodyguards present, and even attempted to divide the empire into two separate regions. Murder of Geta and sole rule. Caracalla resolved the tense situation in a brutal fashion. In December 211 AD, he orchestrated the murder of Geta in the arms of their mother Julia Domna. Geta's supporters were systematically executed in a widespread purge, with ancient accounts claiming that as many as 20,000 people were killed in the aftermath. Now the sole ruler of Rome, Caracalla justified his actions by claiming Geta was plotting against him. However, the political murder deeply stained his reign and led to widespread condemnation, particularly among the senatorial class. Policies and reforms. Caracalla's reign, 211–217 AD, is notable for several important policies, especially in the areas of law, military, and citizenship. The most significant was the Constitutio Antoniniana issued in 212 AD, a sweeping edict that granted Roman citizenship to nearly all free inhabitants of the empire. Prior to this, citizenship had been a privilege reserved for a minority. The motivations for this act are debated. While it may have been framed as a move toward unity and inclusion, many scholars believe Caracalla was primarily interested in expanding the tax base, since Roman citizens paid certain taxes that non-citizens did not. Caracalla also focused heavily on the military. He increased soldiers' pay significantly and spent lavishly on the army, which earned him loyalty among the legions but placed a severe financial burden on the imperial treasury. His favoritism toward the military earned him the title of a soldier emperor, but alienated many senators and administrators. The Baths of Caracalla. One of the enduring legacies of Caracalla is his contribution to Roman architecture, most notably the Baths of Caracalla. These grandiose public baths in Rome were among the largest and most magnificent in the empire, capable of holding thousands of people. The structure included libraries, gardens, and gymnasiums, reflecting the grandeur of the Severan dynasty. Though construction began under his rule, the baths were not completed until after his death. They remain one of the most impressive archaeological sites in Rome today. Campaigns and foreign policy. Caracalla sought military glory and spent much of his reign campaigning in the provinces. He embarked on campaigns in Germania, Dacia, and Parthia, portraying himself as a second Alexander the Great. His admiration for Alexander led him to visit Alexandria, Egypt, in 215 AD, where he claimed to be following in the Macedonian conqueror's footsteps. However, his visit to Alexandria ended in disaster. After citizens allegedly mocked him for killing Geta, Caracalla ordered a massacre of thousands, a horrific act that further solidified his reputation for cruelty. Assassination and death. Caracalla's reign came to a violent end in 217 AD. While preparing for war against the Parthians, he was assassinated near Kari, in modern-day Turkey, by a soldier named Justin Martialis. The murder was orchestrated by Macrinus, the head of the Praetorian Guard, who would soon declare himself emperor. Caracalla was 29 years old at the time of his death and had ruled alone for just 6 years. His body was cremated, and his ashes were placed in the mausoleum of Hadrian. Legacy. Caracalla's legacy is largely negative. Ancient historians such as Cassius Dio and Herodian depicted him as a tyrant, cruel, paranoid, and bloodthirsty. However, modern historians tend to view him with a more nuanced lens, recognizing his contributions to Roman citizenship, law, and infrastructure, even as they acknowledge his brutality.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel.